Tonight on Gothic Vision, it's NJCU Gothic Knights women's basketball. Coming in with a record of 6-11, 4-7 in the NJAC. They step out of conference tonight, and they take on New York City's Baruch College. The Bearcats from Lexington Avenue in Manhattan, 12-4 in a great bounce-back season, 6-2 in the CUNY. Good evening and welcome. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, joined by John Kelly here from the John J. Moore Athletics and Fitness Center in an interesting matchup as Baruch at 12-4, not a lot of depth, but very proficient this season offensively. They make the short trip across from the Holland Tunnel into Jersey City to take on the much-improved Gothic Knights, who have dropped their last three, but prior to that, they had a three-game conference winning streak, John, for the first time in 18 years. It's an opportunity for the Gothic Knights again before they jump back into league play coming up at William Patterson on Wednesday to right the ship and get their season, get back going. They are very much in the NJAC tournament picture.
Exactly, Ralph. And also, just to mention to our viewers, this is a game that was rescheduled, was supposed to be played in early December. The snow obviously blocked it out, and as you mentioned, really good for NJCU to have this game now, and including that Hannah Johnson playing so well. 6 straight double-figure games. The big lady, Ayanna Lewis there, double-double a couple games ago. 6 points, 4 rebounds last game. God, if Jasmine Reese was healthy, this team would be clicking at the right time. And the key thing for them this evening, obviously stay out of foul trouble. That hurt them against Rowan. They got out to a good start with Rowan, kind of played up to the pace, just down by 5. But those foul trouble issues and scoring droughts buried them. And this evening with Nia Dawson coming back, the transfer from Adelphi and leading scorer for Baruch, they have to be careful there.
We have a look at the starters. First up for NJCU, Aaliyah McCray, senior point guard by way of North Country Community College and spending last year at CCNY. She's the point guard, joined by Hannah Johnson, a senior guard from Jersey City St. Dominic's Academy, playing the 2 spots. Sarah Edmonds, the 3'5'7" freshman from Bloomfield, New Jersey, will have a chance to be on the all-rookie team in the NJAC this year. Deja Anderson plays the 4 spot. 5'8" junior from East Orange, New Jersey, spent her freshman year at District of Columbia at the Division II level. And Ayanna Lewis, as John mentioned, 6' junior from Willingboro, New Jersey's West Hampton Tech. Ayanna Lewis, 2 excellent seasons at the junior college level down at Rowan Community College. Plays the 5 spot for Pat Devaney, senior in his 2nd season, 2012 NJCU graduate. And for the Baruch College Bearcats, under second-year head coach Michael Katrozos, who's also been a Division I assistant among his many stops. Nia Dawson, outstanding sophomore point guard, a one-time Adelphi player at the Division II level from Bridgehampton, New York, way out east. She's the point guard and the 3rd leading scorer in the CUNYs, joined by 5'3" junior Frances Snyder of Pine Plains, New York, and 5'6" senior Samira Ahmed from Hillcrest High School in Queens. Melinda Spayu is much more of a point guard or a point forward. She's from Staten Island's Notre Dame Academy, and she goes 5'6". She'll play inside as a junior. And Frances Snyder, or I should say Daniela Zerpolo, will play mostly the 5'7" junior from the Bronx and Baruch College Campus High School. Very undersized Baruch team who wins the tap, and we are underway with Baruch in the navy on navy, white on white with green trim for NJCU. As we get an instant foul on the floor.
Hannah Johnson wants to be careful. She's one of the 3 players that had 5 fouls and fouled out. Been playing really well. Don't want to give that foul. You see Dawson, she's going to attack, coming right back after missing 2 games. Team leader, Ralph, at 19.3 points per game.
And you may notice her wearing the clear face shield. She missed 2 games with taking an elbow in practices. There is Samira Ahmed, who doesn't score a lot, taking the ball right to the rim and finishing. Ahmed averaging about 10 a game. As on the drive on the other way, we get a Baruch foul, and Nia Dawson picks up the personal. Well, for Baruch, they'll play at least 50% of the time zone just to keep themselves out of foul trouble. They only have a total of 9 bodies, period. And for Michael Katrozos, he'll average a good 7 or 7.5, as here's Deja Anderson on the first.
On that first foul, too. That's what Deja likes to do, Ralph, attack the bucket. That is when she is extremely successful. But free throws have been the kryptonite of this women's team all season, Ralph, shooting under 60%. They got to shoot better if they want to get the victory tonight. And obviously, as you mentioned, trying to compete in that NJAC. They have the ability. I mean, they had Kane beat earlier this year, but free throws are the key.
And this is conversely an excellent Baruch free throw shooting team at just over 70%. Maya Neal checking in early for NJCU. And with the deflection, the ball will stay with Baruch. The Bearcats were a one-time power in the CUNYs, and for a decade under Coach Mockley Joseph, they were essentially the dominant program. And looking to reclaim that as Anderson misses the layup. Anderson again, and she'll kick it back outside for the open look at the jumper, and that's off from Ayanna Lewis. And Baruch able to rebound with Daniela Zerpolo. Just getting going as that pass intended inside from Ahmed to Dawson is deflected.
Very interesting deflection, Ralph. You may have seen that better than me, not sure. One interesting matchup here, they have the fewest turnovers in the Cognac, so Baruch really takes care of the basketball. Second in the conference, NJCU, they're known to force steals in this Pat Devaney system.
Dawson way off on the jumper. So for Nia Dawson, she's also missed practice time, and of course the adjustment to playing with the clear face shield for some players, we've seen it even at the NBA level, can be tricky and can take some time to get adjusted to, but she took a serious elbow from a teammate in practice as the jumper is off from Lewis. Offensive rebound NJCU, Anderson right to the basket.
She has all three of the points. That's 2 offensive boards already for Ralph. Feeling her stroke.
Dawson gives it up to Ahmed, and a foul on the floor against the Gothic Knights. It'll be against Ayanna Lewis, picking up number 1. Mentioning the dominance that Baruch College had. In 2015 was their last CUNY championship. They went to the second round of the NCAA, and that finished off a terrific decade where they won the tournament all but 1 year. They've gone back-to-back years in the quarterfinals. They were ineligible in 2017 for the CUNY tournament. So it's been a building project, and now Michael Cotrozos in year 2 has made perhaps the breakthrough as Zerpolo misses the jumper.
Aaliyah McCray last game played all 40 minutes at that point guard position, 10 points. Again, bringing in a lot of experience, played 20-plus games last year at CCNY.
Out of the corner, and the jumper missed by Zaira Taylor-Gaston, sophomore from Jersey City's Marist High School. And the other way, Francis Snyder in transition. The foul against Sarah Edmond.
Last game, Baruch had 5 players in double figures. In the season-high 90 points against CCNY. And just unbelievable what you had. 2 players with double-doubles. Spyu, one of them. And Snyder able to knock that one down. Ralph, again, you really look here for NJCU. Just so important to get back on defense. Do what you do great on defense. Great offensive start here with Anderson. Put it all together. You can get a W here this evening.
Snyder making both free throws at 70%. And Baruch by 1. Taylor-Gaston into Maya Neal with NJCU to spread it out. 2-3 zone look for Baruch as the jumper is off from Deja Anderson. And Baruch, in talking to Michael Cotrozos, their greatest area of improvement is defensive rebounding on a daily basis with their lack of numbers and lack of size. This is Dawson trying to turn the corner. And the pull-up jumper from the baseline rims off from Melinda Spyu.
Already 3rd board for Deja Anderson in this one.
McCray will try a 3. That's off. And a shot that Baruch would love to see her continue to effort as Dawson ahead, and losing it is Samira Ahmed out of bounds, taking a clear layup away.
So coming in will be Millie Yee. Of course, 19 points for her, a season high last game, led all scorers. You mentioned the depth kind of thin for Baruch. This is a team, though, that had 4 returning starters from last year, 7 players returning. And Yee, it's good to see her get that scoring. You know, is obviously Brooklyn the top in that conference, John Jay. And how about that for Deja Anderson there, Ralph? All the points so far for NJCU.
Anderson with all 5, junior from Newark Tech. However, breaking pressure is Dawson for Baruch as that one spins out. Chance to run for Taylor-Gaston.
Did you see this zone look? This is a NJCU team. They like to attack the bucket. So you look at McCray. She has a nice stroke from three, not normally where she likes to take the three, but if you can really quick ball movement around, you're going to open up space even down low.
And against the zone, the jumper off from Sarah Edmond. Long rebound, though, pulled out by the Gothic Knights. They've started 2 of 9 with a couple of offensive rebounds, and Baruch hopes that they can rebound today and also avoid foul trouble. There's their paramount keys daily. Taylor Gaston called for traveling, and NJCU turns it over for the first time. 5-4 Gothic Knights. Ralph Bednarczyk with John Kelly. As the calendar about to turn into February, the Gothic Knights have seen the rebuild start to pay off with a 3-game winning streak a week ago, and then narrow losses at Wheaton College in Massachusetts. 2-point loss at Kane as Spyu outside to Snyder. Melinda Spyu picks up the rebound and then able to turn, could not finish, and eventually up with it is Deja Anderson. Anderson will attack the basket. And the long rebound to Aaliyah McCray. And the Gothic Knights to settle midway through this opening quarter.
Neal was tied third with 109 rebounds. Doesn't get that offensive board, but does the smart thing, Ralph. Taps it back. Another possession.
McCray tries another three. Neal, an offensive follow. Maya Neal again inside. And missing 2 good looks, and Baruch losing it. Neal down low. Anderson finishes off the possession. She's got all 7.
223 plus steals for this team. Second in the NJAC. So difficult. And there's a block from Anderson. What a great hustle. And Ralph, she was able to force a couple of missed layups because of her ability to hustle back. Great to see.
She stuffs Valsenia Michie off the Baruch bench. And the Bearcats bring in sophomore forward Caitlin Rivera for the first time. She's from Long Beach, New York. She and her younger sister Emily are both on this Baruch team. They both commute from Long Beach to Midtown Manhattan, or I should say the Upper East Side daily. 3 on the way. That's in and out for Michie.
NJCU defensively with a little bit of a dose of Baruch's medicine, going zone as well. And that forces a missed 3 from Michie from deep. 16 points for her last game. One of those 5 in double figures, Ralph.
Good ball movement results in a Taylor Gaston 3 off. Another offensive rebound for NJCU. And how about the opening quarter for Deja Anderson? All 9 points. Timeout Baruch.
And as you mentioned, that zone, the key thing I mentioned before, the quick ball movement. And right off the 3, Baruch kind of caught looking. It was an easy offensive board for Deja Anderson. Lays it up. 5-point lead for NJCU.
And Anderson already with 5 rebounds, including 3 on the offensive glass. So Michael Catrozos of the Bearcats to talk it over. NJCU's opened up 4 of 16. Baruch 1 of 9. And they got the early basket from Samira Ahmed, and they've missed their last 7 shots.
And again, for NJCU, this score very similar. Again, however, they were trailing last game. They got out to a great start against Rowan. It's just about consistently this season, Ralph, putting together double-digit quarters, not going through scoring droughts. I talked with Pat Devaney. He says Hannah Johnson's comfortable. A lot of our players are comfortable scoring. You just got to put it together, because before you know it, could be a closer game. And right now, I like what I see out of NJCU.
Back to the zone look for the Gothic Knights. Swung to Yee, and the high post Zerpolo. Snyder, and Baruch is getting some good looks. And the Bearcats this year have shot a very good percentage. Wild shot missed in transition there by Sarah Edmond. Baruch this year is shooting 40% from the field. That's a solid Division III women's basketball number. That's second in the CUNYs. Short there is Zerpolo. Another offensive rebound. Out it goes to Michie. She misses. Yee on the follow. Swooping in is Zerpolo on the reverse. She misses inside. And eventually the foul over the back against Baruch.
Before you had that call, that previous possession, love what I saw from Diana Leonardo. That box out, so nice, able to clear out the area, clear out the block, picks it up. You know, last game 5 points, had to come off the bench because of the foul trouble issues. It'd be nice to see her get at least 10 or more minutes this evening. I like what I see out of her rebounding game.
Baruch showing pressure for the first time. They get the deflection from Spayu and collect the NJCU turnover. So the Bearcats now 1 of 14 to start here in Jersey City. Yee on the entry. Spayu. Baseline turn. Excellent post defense by Edmond.
Edmond came from Bloomfield High School, got her program there to a sectional final, first time in a long time. Leader in rebounds per game.
And there is the aforementioned Edmond. They won North 1 Group 4 last year, defeating Morristown.
I know you work for Verizon Fios, so I figure I'd run that plug in there, Ralph.
We get the foul on the floor as both teams making wholesale changes. Nearing the 2-minute mark, first quarter.
Dawson had 5 20-point games to begin this season. She's been cold. Just one field goal knocked down by Baruch in this first quarter. And the zone looking really good from NJCU. They like to go man normally. And right there, big shot. Yeah.
Millie Yee coming off of the best week of her career, as you touched on, John. 19 points and then a 17-point game the game before that. Meanwhile, in transition, Leonardo missing the three. McCray and trying to slip the ball inside for Taylor Gaston.
I think Spayu had that, then it was knocked away from her, and it was a steal. But again, NJCU a little too quick. Ralph, when they're really playing their best offensive basketball, you can see it in the highlights, whether you or I have called it. There just seems to be a flow. The shots are taken on time. When they rush, they lead the turnovers. It could have been a couple of points. Take your time off these boards.
Dawson had her feet set, misses the shot, offensive rebound, and inside Spayu, it will count.
Obviously, you talked about Ahmed. She isn't known for scoring, but again, 9.8 points per game. However, she did come back from last year, and right there, she really sets up that Spayu three-point play, flies in, gets the rebound. Spayu does the rest, and now Baruch just a three-point play away, a free throw away from tying us up at 9.
Melinda Spayu, third in the conference, despite not being the true point guard in assists, fourth in steals.
Led the team last year at 15.9 points per game. Career high last game, 8 assists too against CCNY, so she can dish it too, Ralph. Very, very balanced player here for head coach Michael.
Right hand jump hook, tough shot and finish. Ayanna Lewis, and perhaps playing the best ball of her NJCU career recently.
She had a double-double 2 games ago against Kane.
And Yee with the shooting percentages starting to have an uptick. Yee with 4 points with a couple of jumpers.
It's amazing. Baruch started just 1 of 14, starting to get their stroke together.
So is NJCU as Hannah Johnson nails a three. Johnson at 31%.
Tied a season best with 3 threes knocked down against Rowan, 15 points in that game. And she has 6 straight double-figure games. Comfort, what Pat Devaney said, and why she's scoring and playing so well, just very comfortable.
NJC also bring on Samantha DePopolo for the first time, freshman from North Arlington, New Jersey, as that shot short by Ahmed. Final 15 seconds of this opening quarter.
You played a great opening quarter if you're NJCU. You really want to get a good final shot, get a good look. You want it to go in. You don't want to turn over.
And they do, as here comes Ahmed. Final seconds. Ahmed across for Dawson. Yee. It would have counted. 2 missed looks for Baruch. And NJCU holds on to a 14-11 advantage at the end of one. Non-conference game between the NJAC and the CUNYs today, rescheduled from early in the season. The Gothic Knights trying to get themselves back in the win column. Baruch at 12-4, they would have a chance for their most wins since the 2015 season, the last time they went to the NCAAs with a victory today.
Yeah, they just had 8 wins last year, but again, you see that experience. Of course, you get an addition there in Dawson coming from Adelphi, and she's really taken off this year. One of the reasons why they have 12 wins this year. And again, Ralph, it's about program building. You look at 2 coaches here in their second year, and it's amazing because the experience tied up with other players that have added here to Baruch to make them competitive. They have to take on the likes of Brooklyn, who's running that conference right now. And for NJCU, once you see Pat Devaney gets into that second year where everyone's playing together, it should be a lot of fun to watch. And you see two teams with very similar storylines and what they're trying to build.
And for the story for NGCU today, John, Danger Anderson, 9 points, 5 rebounds in the 6.5 minutes she played. And she had all kinds of activity, including a block shot, as the athleticism of Danger just screams at you. Danger's had a bit of a nomadic career, and she started out at the District of Columbia playing in the ECC, 13 starts there at UDC, and played for Juan Dixon, former Maryland star there, before he took the Coppin State Division I men's job. As here is DePapalo missing the baseline drive. And Anderson, after playing briefly at Brookdale Community College last year, seems like she's getting her basketball legs under her.
It's a very good JUCO program, Brookdale Community College. On the men's side, two of the key NJCU players, Tariq Holmes coming in here, Calhoun, another good player playing on that team from a very good program there at Brookdale Community College. And if I had it right, I think Brian Williams, the journalist, went there for a while too. So not just sports, they get it done in other areas.
Off the inbound, Spyu. She'll get herself to the free throw line as the foul is on Hannah Johnson.
That's already 2 for Johnson. And a good job by Spyu, able to get under Johnson, get her to leave her feet, and then does what you teach the kids. Didn't teach me, Ralph, but obviously to draw the contact, and she's back at the line. That's a scorer-type play by Spyu. Team captain, and really opened up the season. Cedar Crest, 23 points. That got Cooney Player of the Week in Week 1.
Spyu was second team All-CUNY All-Star last year, averaging the 16 points, nearly 9 rebounds, 4 assists to be the team MVP and leading the building effort. Just a junior and playing at one of the Staten Island girls basketball powers, Notre Dame Academy, in a great area for girls basketball as the pass deflected by Baruch.
And JCU, in the second quarter of games, they come out of the first quarter and they've struggled early to get their scoring touch. Right now, you want to continue that momentum that you finished the first quarter on by getting the good looks.
Johnson misses long there. Look at McCray dig out the offensive rebound, then she's stripped. And the push for Baruch. Daniela Zerpolo. No look feed, and the layup converted for Samira Ahmed.
So right away, Baruch jumping out here in the second quarter. Already with the first 4 points and able to do that in transition. Great job to start that rush by Zerpolo. I think she stripped that away from McCray, and just an easy feed and finish from Mehmed.
Baruch going back in front despite a 5 of 22.
This is right where Ayanna Lewis wants to go up and score.
Lewis got blocked initially by Dawson, but then stays with it and has her second field goal.
She scored on the right block, Ralph. Take the yardstick and put it to the elbow. That's where you want her to be shooting the ball, inside of 12 feet, right there, an easy layup. Double-double a couple games ago against Kane. That was outstanding. 28 points, 13 boards.
Spyu off the penetration, and they leave it for Ahmed. And Samira Ahmed with the jumper, and it's contagious now for Baruch.
Great start by Baruch here to the second quarter. Unbelievable. Just 1 of 14 to start shooting-wise. They made their first 2 field goals here of the second quarter.
Again, Lewis. Hannah Johnson, another 3 out of the corner. And the rebound and run from Ahmed. And Baruch to settle it. Talking about their offense, Michael Catrozo says we're generally at minimum a 4 out, 1 in, sometimes 5 out. We want to spread the floor and use our strength, which is our guards. Again, going back to the size issue, this is Johnson with the tough take through some contact.
And I like that with Johnson. Again, she can shoot from 3, but that's where her game is really good, driving in, attacking the bucket, and that works for NJCU right there.
Spyu was hoping she was fouled. Ahmed missing the jumper. Rebound collected. Dawson will get a hold called on the floor against Maya Neal of NJCU, and the second on the team.
Anderson coming back in. Great first quarter for her. 9 points, 5 rebounds. Really took over the game and playing really well I'll tell you one thing about Deja Anderson. When she's hot, she's very tough on the floor. NJCU going to stick with the zone. Again, not going to allow Baruch to go one-on-one. So, again, with this zone, when you see three-pointers, you got to crash the boards. Baruch's gotten a couple of offensive rebound opportunities.
Spyu forced into a tough shot. Excellent defense by the Gothic Knights. As Deja Anderson attacks and picks up a foul on the floor again. And, well, Deja, again, even though she is listed as a junior, but she is now pushing towards her first full season in terms of college basketball. This is game number 15, so this is the most games she's played in college basketball in just 5 games last year at Brookdale. And perhaps NJCU is starting to see her very best.
It's all about the games too, Ralph. I mean, really, you mentioned before, you think she came from UDC. You don't know much about a player out of 10 games. You need to be, playing 15 to 20 games in the season to really see what you have out of a player. And, in the time that we've gotten to see Deja throughout this season, she's a talent. And now it's just about getting better, developing her game, and, coming back next year. That helps this program. A lot of players on this squad, they have a lot of talent. They got to continue to get more gameplay, got to see where their weaknesses, their strengths are, and put that together.
Anderson missed both free throws. Snyder underneath, and they'll say last touched by Baruch.
Snyder was unbelievable. You talk about before she missed those 2 games. She had 3 double-doubles 2 weeks ago, got Cognac Player of the Week, including 32 and 15 against Medgar Evers. It's good to see her back, but again, she's going to have to get her sea legs under her because, she's missed 2 games, and clearly you could tell a little rusty out of the gate.
Anderson off the skip pass. Johnson's already tried a couple. Here's DePapalo. In and out. Offensive rebound, Ayanna Lewis. And NJCU wanted the foul. Baruch able to rebound.
She definitely contacted with Spyu. Ref's going to let him play.
And Dawson forced into a tough look.
Great job by Johnson on the hustle.
And a steal by Spyu. Spyu, nice layoff for an easy 2 for Zerpolo.
And right there, you see Pat Devaney call a timeout. Ralph, you do a great job there to get the defensive stop, and then obviously Deja Anderson trying to bomb away for Hannah Johnson. NJCU, whether it's they're doing great on the glass right now here, rebounding, or they're coming up the floor. Don't rush things. They rushed right there, and that turned into Baruch points. Take your time, set up, and do what you do best because, when they're composed, NJCU plays well. When we've seen them out of control, it's tough to watch because this team's got a lot more talent than last year. They've added 2 more wins in NJAC play, and, again, that's a turnover I'm sure they want back.
Fans, NJCU Gothic Vision has its own app. If you have an iPhone, go to the App Store and download the NJCU Gothic Vision app today. It's free, and you can watch all the home games that you cannot attend live on your mobile device. And if you miss it live and you want to go back and see it again, go back and watch on demand. All this is available now on Gothic Vision. Get the app today. So that means you can hear John and I later on and watch Paulie Tanasili, our fine producer and director, also do his thing in the middle of the night, if you'd like.
This one's been good so far. Baruch 3 for 7 in the second quarter, shooting 42% after a 1 for 14 start.
Johnson able to recover, took it to the basket. Offensive foul. Spyu draws it. That's a good call as Johnson bowled over the defender, and that is 3.
We mentioned before, can't have foul trouble today. For Johnson, I mean, she still scored 15 points despite fouling out, but now 3 fouls. She's not going to play for a significant amount now of the second quarter. So, Anderson's already stepped up. Lewis has stepped up. You need another scorer, a third scorer to help out in this one, down here by 1.
Spyu, and a call for traveling, kind of shuffling that pivot foot on the catch. And the Bearcats turn it over. Each team had a tough shooting start. Baruch turning it over now for the 6th time. NJCU with 7. Edmond. And Lewis the return to Edmond, who reposts and could not finish. Dawson then secured the rebound, and Nia Dawson is fouled. Well, on this undersized team, the rebounding number is remarkable. Nia Dawson averages 8 rebounds per game. So does Spayu. Somehow, John, and yes, we know it's the Division III level, but somehow, someway, Baruch is actually out-rebounding opponents this year by 0.3. Well, so they're in the plus column, regardless of however they've done it. It is just remarkable.
Well, we've seen how they've done it. When they go for the boards, I mean, it's pure hustle, Ralph. I mean, you got to make up for the size. And when you're taking on, Ayanna Lewis, she's up there, near 6 foot. You have to hustle. And that's where we've really seen them get their second chance points in this one with that hustle. And it's paid off.
A foul's on Nia Dawson, and she picks up number 1. 3 on Baruch here. Well, check that. That's number 2 on Dawson. So that really hurts the Bearcats.
Yeah, 2 top scorers out. Hannah Johnson, 3 fouls. Now Dawson, top scorer at 19.3 points per game, out as well.
Lewis gave it up to the other block, and Deja Anderson soars and produces again.
That's her 3rd double-figure game in the last 4, 9th of the season. Great job by Lewis to get that feed. Drew the defenders, then fed it out.
Off of another Baruch turnover, Sarah Edmond to the basket, is able to switch hands and get to the left block.
Oh, so sweet for 4 straight points. Oh, shades of what we saw from her as a freshman coming out of that program at Bloomfield High. She could just dominate, and that was beautiful. Want to see more of that this evening.
Fantastic first bucket for Edmond. Yee has been confident. Millie Yee has come in and drilled 3 long-range 2s. And she ties the game at 22.
She has 7 points now off 19 points, season high last game. Yeah, confidence. That's the key in scoring as you get down the stretch.
That's McCray airballing a 3. And Zerpolo able to rebound.
Thought that was a forced possession there, Ralph. Really thought NJCU should have taken their time, not really chucked that up. We'll stay here with Baruch.
And one of those 2s, beg your pardon, by Yee was given as a 3, so she does have 7, and she leads the Bearcats. Yee, this is definitely a 2, and another knockdown. Millie Yee continues her torrid shooting. She's now 4 of 5.
And it's all set up in the zone by, you look for that middle, you look for that vacant spot, and the passer comes from Zerpolo, getting the assist on Yee's jumper. Beautiful setup, and NJCU was napping.
Lewis losing it, and Snyder down on the floor for Baruch.
One thing about youngsters, big men, or big ladies, don't put the ball down on the floor. It's how you easily get stripped, and Lewis lost sight of that there.
Zerpolo from the outside, and Baruch now cannot miss. From the mid-range, well, Michael Catrozos told me before the game, one of our strengths is we're an excellent mid-range shooting team, which is a lost art. But this is even beyond his wildest dreams. Anderson, and that's a tough shot off the glass, falling away.
13 for her. Talk about surges. As NJCU had the last 7 from Baruch before that, Anderson J. There has to be someone else at NJCU that steps up offensively. Just cannot be 30 here all night with Hannah Johnson obviously sitting out with foul trouble with 3.
Oh, Spayu off the ball fake and then hits a tough shot off the glass.
That's 7 for Spayu. Just 3 points away from a double-figure game. 13 of those this year. Off a double-double last game. 3 straight.
And remember that 1 of 14 shooting start, as that's a wild shot by NJCU. Anderson from the outside. And Snyder able to rebound.
Very impressed with Snyder. Got in there, boxed out, cleared the block. Right there for the rebound. Baruch with a chance now. Their lead up, probably its largest ledger, but big steal by Lewis.
The takeaway by Ayanna Lewis, and Neal running the floor converts.
It's nice 2 assists there by Ayanna Lewis. You know, we know it for her rebounding. Her scoring's developing, but something people don't know, she's a really good passer, able to draw the defender, and great court vision.
And for Baruch, a rare miss as Samira Ahmed misfires the jumper, so the Bearcats lead is 1 inside the final minute of this opening half. Baruch pushing their numbers up to 34% prior to that miss. NJCU at 32% as Ayanna Lewis tries the three.
I wouldn't have shot that if I were Lewis. I would have waited to set up a better shot. So you have a 7-second shot clock, the game clock advantage. Get a stop here.
Spyu right to the basket.
Now you hold for the final shot. Ralph, really milk the clock and take a quality shot. You have a lot of options. You can let Anderson drive. Lewis has knocked down a shot at the horn, did it against Rutgers Camden. But trying to get the good look at the end of this half to finish strong.
5 seconds to go. McRae tries the three. Offensive rebound. Anderson missing the tip. Anderson again. Two good looks for Deja Anderson, who was otherwise the story for the Gothic Knights. She has 13 of their 26 points. But Baruch put together a super second quarter where they shoot 8 of 13, and they have the halftime lead 29-26.
Well, for NJCU, I mean, Deja Anderson playing outstanding. I mean, Ayanna Lewis, like to see a little bit more at her and Edmonds scoring. They've really shown down low that they can really exploit, not just with their size, but their dribbling ability. The defense of Baruch, they're going to see zone the rest of the way. You're not going to get one-on-one matchups. So for Pat Devaney, I'm sure he's going to make an adjustment here, Ralph. Really quicker ball movement. Try to find that space in the zone. That's where your first passer comes from, and just attack the bucket from there. But Baruch, what a nice bounce back in that second quarter. Very impressed what I've seen from Millie Yee. I mean, off of 19 points, you're taking on, obviously CCNY is not the top team in the Cooney. I mean, obviously they're one of the more younger programs around, but to come in here against an NJAC opponent like NJCU and really come out strong and keep firing, outstanding. And obviously with Dawson on the bench, I mean, Spyu and Baruch stepping up, and NJCU needs to do the same.
Before we break, here's a look at our first half numbers. So those shooting percentages were both able to incrementally rise. Baruch up to 35% and NJCU at 30% from the field. Baruch has yet to knock down a three. They've been solid in that area this year. NJCU against the zone, 1 of 10, and Baruch -3 in the rebounding action. It is Melinda Spyu and Millie Yee with 9 points apiece. Deja Anderson with 13 for NJCU to lead all players. We'll take a timeout and return in about 12 minutes to bring you the second half. You're watching Gothic Vision. The Gothic Knights trailing the Baruch College Bearcats by 3 at the half. Back live on Gothic Vision. Ralph Bednarczyk with John Kelly with you from the John J. Moore Athletics and Fitness Center in Jersey City. Halftime score in this non-conference game. The Baruch College Bearcats of the CUNY Athletic Conference from Manhattan. 29-26 over the Gothic Knights. As you see the numbers, 30% shooting for NJCU, 35% from the floor for Baruch. Baruch shaking off that impossibly difficult start, John. They began the game 1 of 14. How do they do it? How do they quickly flip the script?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it really started with Millie Yee. She got hot, shot well. They were able to move the ball very well, got better looks, didn't rush their shots. That's why they shot 61.5%. And for NJCU, they better be aware because they shot 50 or better in those final 3 quarters of their last game. So this is really where they start to hit their stride. And NJCU's got to not hit any droughts scoring-wise. Deja Anderson, a great first half. She's, I think, a 1 rebound away here from a double-double, but there have to be other scorers. Down low, I like what I see from Sarah Edmond and Nyana Lewis, but, will Pat Devaney stick with plays to the two of them on the blocks? I would. It's a tough process because, not like Shaq there could easily make that hook shot consistently, but that's where I would go outside of Deja Anderson because you have that size advantage, and both have shown the ability with their scoring touch to put some points down.
NJCU does have 14 offensive rebounds, mainly due to all the missed shots, and Baruch is going to sit 2-3 zone. It appears exclusively this entire game. The Bearcats do get their leading scorer, Nia Dawson, back after she played 12 minutes in the first half, picking up her second foul early in the second quarter.
And there's Hannah Johnson as well, the far side of your screen. 3 fouls, so 2 top scorers in foul trouble. Got to both stay away from that.
This is Frances Snyder. Samira Ahmed on the drive, and this one rolls off. Johnson with the rebound on the push.
Got to play under control, Hannah.
And Johnson does that. Hannah Johnson appearing to be determined to get to the rim.
Yep, big bucket for Hannah. And she really needs to step up as well. She's going to provide that scoring that this team needs. 7 now for her, and a big rebound on that miss by Ayanna Lewis.
Ahmed missed the shot in tight. NJCU, quick look. Taylor Gaston. And Melinda Spyu able to rebound. She, like Dawson, also averages 8 boards a game.
You watch NJCU. This is not Loyola Marymount, the guru of go, just firing away the shots so quickly. Take your time. Work a possession. And, Taylor Gaston just kind of chucked that one up.
And Ahmed chucks that one up. An off-balance line drive that visibly frustrates head coach Michael Katrozos. Just underway, third quarter, Baruch by 1. Johnson finds a gap and the foul on the floor. And let's start here. If you're head coach Pat Devaney, what do you think he talked to his Gothic Knights about? What was his main message at the half?
Well, limit the turnovers. Take better shots. And, if you're the key top scorers, comfortable, Hannah Johnson's comfortable, got to play under control. Ralph, you saw her lay it up before. That was a nice drive. Play under control. Protect the ball. Don't go at 600 miles an hour. And again, rebound, and rebound. A couple second chances there for Baruch. Took away opportunities for NJCU to extend that advantage more.
Gothic Knights were +3 at the half rebounding. Aaliyah McCray forces it up. And this will be last touch by NJCU. And then if you're a Baruch coach, Michael Katrozos, you shook off a difficult shooting first half on the road. You had the halftime lead. What do you think he emphasized?
I think he emphasized to stick what you did in the second quarter. Good ball movement, find the space in the zone, and continue to, again, if you are really feeling your shot, whether you're Yee or, Spyu, take it. And really, Baruch sticks to that game plan. They're going to win this game because they looked very different in that second quarter. And I would just stick to it. Go to the hot players that you've seen throughout that first half.
Both teams ending up turning it over. Johnson's shot rolled off. Frances Snyder able to save it. And here's the push from Zerpolo.
Able to just keep her feet. It was almost a travel.
Dawson knocks down her first shot. Nia Dawson had an 0 for 5 along with those 2 fouls. And Baruch back by 3.
Hannah Johnson just seemed to be staring at her form there on that jump shot. She had to get a hand in the face and didn't do it. And, for Dawson, that's like a warm-up shot. And, that's a way to start her. That's a girl you do not want to wake up scoring-wise on this team. Johnson again.
Shot clock to 5. Leaves it for Sarah Edmond, who goes to the right side of the lane. And we'll get a jump ball and a tie-up. And that will keep it here.
If I'm Edmond, continue to go to that. If you're Lewis, continue to drive. Edmond, again, when you go to those layups, you have a body. You got to make sure you get that ball up high off the right side of the glass and get it down. I think Edmond kind of shortened that layup. You see that with certain players, Ralph. That's happened when you try to set up there and try to score. McRae has 6 rebounds, too. This little one is plays really well. Tough player for this squad.
Ayanna Lewis challenged by Dawson, who had the good box out. Yeah, Leah McRae at 5'1" from Patterson, New Jersey, elevated recently to the starting point guard as Dawson picks up the foul, and that's going to be her 3rd.
Yeah, and great job by Johnson there defensively. So obviously picking up the slack after giving up that easy jumper to Dawson, said, you know what, I'm going to be blue collar, I'm going to go, I'm going to draw that offensive foul, does, and now Dawson's off the floor. It's huge for NJCU, and now it's time to really take advantage. You have plenty of options here, Ralph. I mean, Deja Anderson, they're going to double her. They're going to keep her out of this one. So you have 2 big ladies, and Johnson starting to play.
It is Johnson shooting over Spyu. Exactly that. Timeout, Baruch. So for Anderson, she scores in the post-up and has 15. It's a 1-point game again. 31-30. And Deja Anderson, after the 13 points, also with 9 rebounds in the first half. And Anderson's production in her limited minutes of just 14 minutes in the first half is sensational. And someone that clearly for NJCU could be playing at an all-NJAC level with the Gothic Knights, very much in the NJAC tournament picture.
Yeah, that was the big question this year, Ralph. Who's going to replace Marija Bacon? I mean, school's all-time leader in scoring, came in there from Kane last year. Again, don't forget about her sister, Maisha Bacon, second in scoring. Who's going to bring that Marija Bacon? Who was going to be that go-to scorer? And for most of the season, obviously, NJCU was feeling things out. But to me, as I've watched and even announced, Deja Anderson can be that person. And, again, 3 double-figure games in her last 4. The more confidence she gets, that just helps solidifying your number 1 scorer.
Snyder on the baseline drive, stepped out of bounds.
Yee on that shot, needed to put just a little more knees into it. Actually had a good look, good form, but she didn't use the knees, kind of tried to set shot that one with her feet down. That's why she airballed it.
And Millie Yee back in. Shot 4 of 5 in the first half for 9 points. Johnson, impossible scoop shot, rebounded by Neal. She hits the front rim. Maya Neal continues.
Oh, that's where she has to stay down and just kind of not give it up so quickly. That was 2 offensive rebounds on that exchange by Neal.
A trap on Spyu, and Baruch able to get out of it. Francis Snyder. And a rush shot. Neal saving it.
Well, it looks like I think we're going to have a foul here, and it'll be against Baruch. So Pat Devaney wanted a timeout. We'll see now if he goes with it. I don't think he will. Get to see Diana Leonardo.
Foul is on Daniela Zerpolo, who picks up her 2nd on Baruch. And indeed, Diana Leonardo back into the game. Sophomore from Bayonne and played at Hudson Catholic. Saw a few minutes in the first half.
That's just
and
a
now
tough
turnover
catch, just a
by
bad
Baruch.
giveaway by McRae. Neal just not ready for that. It's going to be interesting, Ralph. You look at Hudson County here, no more Marist, and that's where Taylor Gaston played her basketball. I mean, Hudson Catholic trying to fill that void. St. Anthony's gone as well. These are programs that are, again, Taylor Gaston played there for a while.
And the Marist School, where Taylor Gaston graduated from, also announced this will be its last year. As here's Maya Neal in transition. And NJCU back in front, 32-31. They led by as many as 5 in the first half.
Baruch, kind of like the first quarter, shocking here, 1 for 6. They were 1 for 14 in that first quarter. So shots not falling for them. And NJCU trying to be tighter there on defense. That's going to go to Anderson. I'll be honest with you, Spyu got a little lucky there. Thought maybe she had pushed off, but they're going to give Anderson the foul.
First team foul on NJCU. Dawson back in the game, playing with 3 fouls, rattles into 3.
All 5 of her points in this quarter.
First made 3 for Baruch.
It's her 27th 3 made. She's tops on the team in that category.
The Bearcats back by 2 as they sit in the zone. Leonardo, a tough shot along the baseline. Neal digging out another errant shot. McCray missed. Leonardo again.
That was a foul. Oof. Guess they'll give a block. We'll see who they give that to. I thought it was a foul, Ralph.
Ahmed the other way, and she gets the whistle.
And I think Deja Anderson may be the guilty party, and that's who they get it on. So that'll be her second. Sarah Edmond will check in. So I like what Leonardo did, able to get those offensive boards. But, you know, simple coaching fact, just bank it off the box. That's all you have to do. And sometimes players just don't, you know, eventually see that with all the harassment around.
Here's senior Samira Ahmed. After the second foul collected by Deja Anderson.
Yeah, Ahmed really true to the CUNY, as you would say. Played at Queensboro Community College, was the team MVP in 2016, 2017. 24, her best against Kingsborough Community College.
Anderson now squares up. Spyu rebounds, headed knocked away by Johnson. McCray misses on the other side of the glass. It's Sarah Edmond.
That was so important off that turnover. The NJCU got points off of it. McCray couldn't get it to go, but big layup there by Edmond.
Yee got it away to Dawson. Pocket picked. Neal. Maya Neal. Wave it off. Called for traveling.
Yeah, that was tough. I figured they were going to call her for that. But Neal with a nice steal right then and there. Don't stop, Ralph. Go right to the hole. Go right up and lay it up. Sometimes players see it all levels. They'll delay for a second. It leads to a traveling or a shot getting blocked. In that case, traveling.
NJCU turning up the pressure. Ahmed carries the other way in a 2-on-1 with a fancy move and take.
You see that a lot. That fake right to the midsection. It had Edmond off, and she's able to lay it home.
9 points for Samira Ahmed. And Baruch back by 3.
Just 0.8 away from her season average.
Johnson. Deja Johnson, perhaps in the making of a career game today. She has 17.
So that was big. You know, it goes also, too, with your drivers, her and Johnson. You can attack that zone. And Anderson was able to go right down, gets it, goes. Man, she is just so confident.
That shot off. Edmond with the ball off the glass.
So she's just 3 away from another double-digit rebounding performance. Edmond's so crucial to this team on the glass.
Hannah Johnson for 3.
Last 5 points by NJCU, and that's a big knockdown by Hannah Johnson, as she's really got offensive confidence here in the second half, playing with a lot more control.
Up ahead, Spyu locating Zerpolo underneath, and Baruch quickly reties it at 39.
What a great feed by Spyu. I mean, we know her really from her scoring ability, but came in tops with 58 assists. And great court vision, able to find Zerpolo, put that away after Neal knocked that away from her.
Johnson, they have forced up a contested 3, offensive rebound. They'll pulled out by Edmond, and they'll be Gothic 9 free throws.
I love that. I mean, that's something Pat Devaney just did not have last year, was the size. And in certain games, they would get outsized NJCU last year. They'd have to more or less stick to a guard game. But you have Edmond and Lewis down low. That gives you such an advantage. It's not just, you know, second chance opportunities on the offensive glass, but they can provide that scoring. Now hopefully Edmond can do that from the free throw line.
Sarah Edmond, the number 2 offensive rebounder right now in the NJAC, and also 14th in the country.
Unbelievable. 11 rebounds last game against Rowan. I mean, just continues to put it up game after game, Ralph. You look at the box score, say, oh, another double-digit rebound game, but it's that number that helps you night in and night out. And Edmond really huge there. Oh, I thought she had a block, but may have got a little bit of the wrist of Yee. So that's the 3rd NJCU foul, and Yee back to the line.
Edmond picking up number 2. So Millie Yee working on her approaching her third straight double-figure scoring game of her season and career, and misses short there. But she's been the recent revelation for this Baruch team under all accounts, and talking to Michael Katrozos, has already surpassed expectations with notable victories this year against Ramapo, as he misses both. A win over Ramapo December 30th, and they also have a win against John Jay on the 6th as NJCU gets Hannah Johnson right back on the jumper.
Johnson now in double figures with 12. What a great second half she's put together. 7 straight double-figure games, and how about that block from Edmond? It's their first of the game, third total for NJCU. And, Ramapo, Baruch caught them at a good time. They've had some health issues. They finally get, Jenna Harsh back in the last couple of games for them. Team last year that lost Tia Solomon, one of their top 2 returners from a season ago. Allie Wickstrom's been playing very well for that team, Ramapo. They'll be in here in a couple of weeks. The big lady down there, the junior, leading them in scoring and rebounding.
And to do it back-to-back, that's where Michael Katrozos felt that our off-season work, the homework assignments that he gave all of his returners, showed how well it paid off. And they're going to be in the CUNY tournament. Snyder airballs that 3 with the shot clock running down. And they're going to be there, especially with the talents like Dawson and Spyu. They'll have an opportunity to perhaps reach the CUNY semifinals. And as long as they can perhaps avoid the top seed Brooklyn, they'll have a chance. This year against Brooklyn, they lost 78-47 in the first meeting. January 15th as Deja Anderson misses there. Tough offensive rebound by Zaira Taylor-Gaston. And then Hannah Johnson picks up the foul, and she'll shoot free throws.
Yeah, able to get Spyu, I think. So, see who they give that to. And I guess they're not going to say they probably whistled that foul before she shot it. So, take your time on this possession.
It was not shooting. Taylor-Gaston off one dribble. Offensive rebound, Johnson.
What a great second half that Johnson has put together, Ralph. I mean, really, look at that second quarter, first quarter. Foul trouble really hurt her in that first half. 12 points now in the game. And, again, getting comfortable and trying to make it points 13 and 14 at the line.
This one was called on the act of shooting. And Baruch with 5 team fouls. So Hannah Johnson at 59% leads the team in free throws attempted this year, mainly due to her aggressiveness, misfires there. But she has 7 of her 12 points here in the third quarter. Played at St. Dominic Academy in Jersey City. I see her high school coach, John Hester, in the stands.
That was a sister school where I went at St. Peter's Prep, St. Dominic Academy. 1,000-point scorer there. Again, talked about Ralph, really, her defensive skills, something she had, we just haven't seen really pick up. Great rebound by Baruch. Now with the shot clock off, final chance, get a little closer going into the final quarter.
Ahmed with 4 in the quarter. Chance for Nia Dawson, has to heave. Good defense by Deja Anderson. And NJCU takes a 4-point lead into the fourth in this non-conference game today on Gothic Vision.
Yeah, Ralph, and I really like what Deja Anderson did. The key thing on that one, Dawson's trying to get her to leave the feet, try to get one of those Reggie Miller-type fouls, kick out the legs, draw the contact on the shot, and Anderson just keeps her feet, goes up, challenges the shot, shot's an air ball, and no free shots for Baruch. You're up by 4 in the final 10 minutes here with a chance at a big home victory.
Fans, you can continue to follow the Gothic Knights all over the internet. Subscribe to the Gothic Knights on YouTube. Log on to youtube.com/NJCU Gothic Knights. Subscribe today. Are you following the Gothic Knights on Instagram? So on your mobile device, go to @NJCU Gothic Knights to follow all the action, to learn about events, news, great video and photo content, and team takeovers. And lastly, on Twitter, you can follow the Gothic Knights there. The Twitter handle is @NJCU Athletics. Follow NJCU on on Twitter today. We are hashtags Jersey City's team. In the third quarter, 30% shooting for the Gothic Knights, but they held Baruch to 4 of 15. And we have a 4-point game as we start the fourth quarter. Jersey City, 22 offensive rebounds against the zone. That's a remarkable figure. They're +5 on the glass against Baruch, but an even 22 split offense versus defensive rebounds. That's just a statistical anomaly.
This is the quarter where really NJCU has had their foot on the gas, a chance to put away a couple of games. They got away from Kane, one of them. They were here with William Patterson late. That's a good start by Baruch. Ralph, this final 10 minutes in what Pat Devaney wants to build, this is where you start your building process, winning in the fourth quarter.
That's Samira Ahmed with a contested jumper that went for 2. Missed shot inside. Edmond is able to recover it. Anderson, that would have been a long range 2. And Dawson on the glass for Baruch.
It's Dawson's 7th rebound. Been tough scoring for her tonight, but getting it done in that rebounding category. 110, 7.9 per game, 3rd on the squad. Of course, that loss to Brooklyn, you mentioned, again, she had 20 points in that one, 7 of 16 shooting. Tonight's just been very difficult. However, Ahmed, very impressed at how she stepped up. Again, Spivey was their leader scorer last year, 15 points, 6 points per game. But then tough for Dawson.
And Dawson leaves that shot short after missing the last 2 games, taking an elbow in practice from the teammates to the face. Her first game tonight since in 10 days, January 17th. Deja Anderson.
Oh, can't get the home roll. Do it again, Deja.
Gets her 10th rebound and then the foul.
So it's going to be on Sarah Edmond, so offensive foul. And for Edmond, that will be her 3rd, or that will give her 2nd. So her, Anderson, Johnson, foul trouble. Those are 3 crucial players for Pat Devaney as you're up by 2 in this final quarter.
Yee, good find. Spivey misses the chippy. Big miss there that could have tied the game. And here come the Gothic Knights.
Talk about McCray. This is a girl you want in the fourth quarter. Knocked down 2 crucial free throws to knock off Rutgers Newark. Again, you get that NJAC victory. She's clutch here in the fourth quarter. Excited to see what she could do here to help out this squad. 40 minutes last game. Really played huge at the point guard position. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need players that can step up, get that blue-collar offensive foul, score those couple of points, and especially for this team in the fourth quarter, Ralph, they have to knock down free throws. They cannot give away free shots. You got to go 2 for 2 here if you're Taylor Gaston and through down the stretch.
Taylor Gaston among the best on the Gothic Knights, 68% this year in limited attempts. Nails the first. Gothic Knights as a team, just 54%. But Taylor Gaston, a couple of big makes to extend the lead to 4. And this will allow the Gothic Knights to pick up in a 1-2-2 pressure before they back off and allow Dawson to cross.
It's a rather easy break for Baruch. Normally they've been under duress trying to come up with it.
Dawson is able to gather her body and hit the shots. Tough make there with Nia Dawson with all 7 of her points in the second half. She has a 32-point game this year against Medgar Evers as Deja Anderson has gone cold.
Great heads-up play by Neal. I mean, you can't get the offensive board. Do what you can. Bank it off a player. Give yourself a fresh shot clock, which changed this year. It resets to 20 seconds. Still got time and still got another possession. JCU's got to score down the stretch here. Cannot hit droughts that hurt them against Kane. Got them, to kind of lose the momentum in a couple other conference games this year too. So, really, just the consistency you needed here for the final 7:25.
Another deflected ball, this time recovered by Edmond. McCray, tough scoop shot goes for Aaliyah McCray.
She may be under 5'3". That was a serious extension. Big 2 points for McCray.
And then Ahmed rushed the pass intended for Yee. NJC with the ball, up by 4 again. And timeout Bearcats still with 7:05 to play in this non-conference game. Up next on the schedule for the Gothic Knights, they'll travel to William Patterson this Wednesday, and then on Saturday they'll have their alumni game, men's and women's, before the men's women's doubleheader takes place in the afternoon against Rutgers Newark. But the Gothic Knights here at 6-11, 4-7 in the NJAC. In very much a game they have a chance to defeat a team that could have a winning record at the end of the season. Fans, the 2020 NJCU Athletics Hall of Fame class has been announced. The induction ceremony will be Friday, February 28th. Congratulations to Jennifer Abuha of women's soccer, Christian Acuna of men's soccer, and the late, great Julia Casares of women's soccer, volleyball coach Christopher Feliciano, and the Veterans Committee honoree Bob Johnson, men's basketball great Jeffrey L. Jordan, bowling coach Frank Parisi, the 1986 men's basketball team, the 2004 women's bowling team. They are your 2020 Hall of Fame class. You can buy your tickets and RSVP today, logging on to njcugothicnights.com/2020 Hall tickets. Congratulations to all the NJCU Athletics Hall of Fame honorees.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. And I tell you, some great names up there. Delaney obviously getting named, 85. Be a good event. Always fun here at NJCU.
Former longtime NBA official Bob Delaney. Aaliyah McCray. Johnson does not pull the trigger. However, McCray is down underneath the basket.
I hope she's okay. See, maybe, hopefully, might have been a jam finger. Sometimes when you're trying to drive, that's pretty kind of run into that.
And the last thing that the Gothic Knights can have is another guard go down. They're missing their incumbent starting point guard, Alexandria Sams, for the rest of the season. She had to leave the team, and now McCray. And after this, NJCU does not have what you would call a true ball handler on the depth chart.
And obviously, too, I mean, really devastating earlier this year. Jasmine Reese really started to play her best basketball again. Season ended early after it was ended early last year after 4 games. So, again, at the same time, when you have losses like that, and a little bit of a younger bench, not as much experience, that hurts. Hopefully McCray's okay, and it's just a little bit of a jam finger, and she ice it up, come back in. But, you know, Gothic Knights, again, down on depth there. Sams, that's a tough loss, too. That's your leader in assists. Big three-point shooter for you, too. 31 made, tops on the team.
Johnson in good rhythm. Missed it short.
Great rebound by Dawson.
And this will be team foul number 2 against the Gothic Knights. So with McCray on the bench, it'll be Maya Neal mostly as the team's point guard.
Dawson's really had a lot of her scoring down low. I really try to set her up down there.
Snyder, big shot, Francis Snyder for 3.
Well, that's what that's what this team, as you mentioned earlier, Ralph, they could shoot the 3. I mean, Snyder came in, leader with 86 attempted, second with 25 made. That was a big one, and now it's a 1-point game. And now, right away here, Baruch to find themselves back in front.
And then NJCU turns it over as Spyu pushes. For Francis Snyder, shoots a 3 at 29%.
Snyder 4 straight double-figure games coming into this one, too. So scoring imbalance as well. Oh, Johnson almost had a chance at that steal.
Dawson nearly traveled, got away with it. Neal came up with the turnover. Hannah Johnson, path to the basket, and will get herself to the free throw line.
Completely different here in the second half, but the difference is playing under control. As we watched in that first half, Ralph, that's the thing about Hannah Johnson. She's running too fast downhill. She can lose the ball, draw offensive fouls, taking her time, finding the basket, gets a foul called, and now 2 key free throws. Got to make them. How about that for Maya Neal? 4 steals. I mean, one thing about Neal, I would like to see her get more minutes. I mean, productive in the amount of time she had last year. Just 35 was a season high for her against Pratt in a game where Marijah Bacon went off, setting the new program record for single game scoring.
Another miss. Edmond had the offensive rebound but got it blocked. And then inside, the shot by Johnson missed. Finally dug out by Baruch. And the Bearcats 2-on-1. Dawson with Ahmed. Taylor Gaston is able to save it off the body of Dawson. Fine play from Zaira Taylor Gaston.
Johnson had a little bit of time there, Ralph. I would not have rushed that layup. She had some space to at least collect herself. And they kind of forced that. It could have been 2 points for her. Let's see if she can get it on this possession right now. Deja Anderson, red hot early, gone kind of quiet. Try to set her up. Try to get her one-on-one. You can do it out of the zone. It's just quick ball movement. It's all on that second pass where you can really develop that one-on-one.
Johnson left open, and it's short. Offensive rebound, Neal. She hit the bottom of the backboard. And then Edmond, as she gathered another offensive rebound, gets a timeout with 4:55 left. So NJCU, we'll see if the numbers update, but that is now 30 offensive rebounds for the game against this Baruch 2-3 zone. But the Gothic Knights lead is just 1.
And again, it's the size advantage. There's Edmond again, another double-digit rebound performance. First double-double of the year for Deja Anderson, 11 boards for her. And you have 2 other players, 3 other actually, with 5 or more. Lewis with 5, 6 from McCray, and then 9 for Maya Neal. So she's close to double-digit rebounding performance. 7 of those on the offensive glass, and gets another one before.
The Gothic Knights will keep it shooting just 27% from the floor. They haven't been able to pay off a lot of those second, third, and fourth chance opportunities.
Which is where you got to get your points, Ralph.
Aaliyah McCray back in the game, and she is a blur getting to the basket.
It's 4 points for her in this quarter. She was huge in getting a win from down the stretch last time. I call her Aaliyah the Clutch. Both her and Francis Snyder. Look at those 2 small ones, but they can knock it down when it's called upon.
Yee. Short there, Spyu. And the rebound tapped out of bounds by the Gothic Knights.
We'll score that as an offensive rebounding dead ball.
Dawson kicking. Yee stepping out further.
Great box out by Deja Anderson. That's the way to get your 12th rebound this evening. Clear out the block, did it. Just 13 total points in this final quarter. Shots tough to come by.
Anderson turns the corner and gets the roll.
Just the 3rd field goal made in this quarter by NJCU, and a big one, up by 5.
It is a new career high, 19 points for Deja Anderson. And now a steal. Neal running the floor. Leave for Johnson. It'll be 2 at the line.
I have been very impressed with Maya Neal tonight. That is her 5th steal. And, again, she needs more minutes because not only can she rebound, it's the quickness. One of the strengths of her game, Ralph, is the quickness and her ability to get her hands in lanes. And right there, she sets that up. Johnson can't put it home, but 2 key free throws upcoming, and Neal really, those 5 steals, so important, but the ones here in this quarter have been huge.
Hannah Johnson, another trip to the free throw line. Baruch has been able to avoid foul trouble for most of the night, but now 2 starters, Daniela Zerpolo and Nia Dawson, each with 4.
And that's the worst. That's a lane violation, so no free throws taken in this quarter by Baruch right now. So you have 6-point lead, probably the largest of the game for NJCU. Clamp down, play good defense, do what you do.
And indeed it is the largest lead of the night for the Gothic Knights. Who will step up from the perimeter for the Bearcats? They bring back Samira Ahmed, who's had a solid game. And this is Zerpolo, and she commits number 5.
Well, that's the top rebounder on this team, coming in with 139. She's out of the game. And Hannah Johnson, great job there defensively. I mean, the second half, she's forced a couple offensive fouls. And in addition to her double-figure game, 7th straight, great defense from Hannah.
Well, the live stats had it as 4 already for Zerpolo. The book apparently has that being her 4th. Zerpolo, certainly the way she reacted, thought she only had 3.
Yeah, definitely. She walked right off, said, I'm done for the night. Well,
no, I'm saying that Zerpolo thought that she did not have 4.
Yeah, well, scorer's table, always the key defining factor, so.
And that is indeed 5 on Daniela Zerpolo, so she exits. And for a Baruch team, again, only 9 players. They'll play about 7 key minutes. So Millie Yeeb comes back in the game. And they lose someone that is a capable rebounder, too, at 5'7".
And Key down low to block shots, 4 blocks in her last 2. Team leader with 14. So defensively, it's going to hurt that she's out of the game as well.
And Johnson attacks the paint, missed the shot. Edmond is fouled.
So big free throws. Great job to crash that glass. What a night here on the offensive glass for New Jersey City University. Unbelievable. 31 offensive rebounds. Sorry there.
Spayu picks up number 3. And for the Gothic Knights, that is clearly lining up to be a season high in offensive rebounds as a team. As Edmond knocks down the first.
Also got NJAC Rookie of the Week a couple weeks ago. Well-deserved for the freshman from Bloomfield. Talented and a really exciting career ahead for her here at New Jersey City University. That's also important. Ira's our SID, Ralph. Knock down those 2 free throws. Now you're up by 8, largest lead.
And it is a new season high in offensive rebounds for NJCU. As the foul on the floor, Anderson picks up the 3rd team foul. Back on January 15th, NJCU had 27 offensive rebounds.
A big win over Ramapo, 68-64. Going to be interesting when Jenna Harsh comes back, as she's been playing last couple of games for Ramapo alongside Wickerstram. Really, how that team will change. Been a tough year for them. Just even 9-9. That was a big win for NJCU during that time.
Snyder missed a good look with the shot clock running down.
You just hope that NJCU didn't touch that. Now, I think that hit the rim, shot clock went off. We're going to debate whether this hit the wire or not, which if that's the case, Ralph, then it's a violation and the ball goes over to NJCU. I don't know what you saw. I thought maybe could hit the wire, hit the rim. Regardless, you got to let that ball go out of play. And the officials did not think it hit the wire. They believe me that it hit the rim. So NJCU touching it out. Another possession here for Baruch.
It's an important one for the Bearcats. 2:32 left.
This is the girl they need it to. They got to get it to Dawson somehow. She has to start their scoring down the stretch if they want to come back.
Ahmed double clutched while she attempted the 3. NJCU with Anderson bowling her way to the basket. And taking a quick shot, here's Frances Snyder.
Snyder also a key player. You want to get maybe it into her hands. You're down by 8. She's knocked down 3s, one of your top 3 shooters. Baruch, really, that's one of their strengths, Ralph. They're one of the better teams in the CUNY and knocking down 3s per game. So use that to your advantage, down by 8, because Couple possessions, couple threes. Next thing you know, you're within a possession and closing in down the stretch. And that's exactly what Pat Devaney said. Watch the shooter. Keep it away from him.
Spayu's also a terrific playmaker. She is stripped off the double. Then Yee has it rejected by Johnson out of bounds with 7 to shoot.
What a different second half from Hannah Johnson defensively. I think after Dawson knocked down that easy J, she got angry, and you saw it right there.
Nia Dawson with 4 on the clock. NJCU rebounds, however, late whistle. Yee was wiped out on the box out. This will be a dead ball foul and the 4th team foul, but Baruch will keep it. That's 4 on Anderson.
Also, you look at the 4th team foul, too. Now, if Baruch, it's a 5th draw on NJCU. That excellent free throw shooting comes into play, down 8. A lot of opportunities for him. Sorry there, Ralph.
And it happens instantly, John, as Johnson fouls Dawson with no time coming off the clock, and Nia Dawson will shoot 2.
Yeah, you're talking about right there, 33 of the 54 points, right there with 4 fouls apiece. So they have to be careful. You hear Pat Devaney telling his women, relax, don't go too crazy, because now you have the bonus if you're Baruch, and you have a couple of 3 shooters, Dawson one of them, leading you with 27 made. Snyder could knock him down, 26 second on the team, and the free throws, which Baruch does well. Those are 2 things they do well. They have to their advantage, down by 8, so NJCU just has to calm down and finish out, which was a really good 4th quarter for them.
Dawson with all 8 of her points in the second half. From Bridgehampton, New York, all the way out past the Hamptons at 73%. We get a timeout on the floor. It's a 6-point NJCU lead. 1:41 left. Still an eternity for these 2 teams. As the Bearcats looking to make one more push late. The Gothic Knights have gotten here despite shooting just 28%, but they've gotten 31 offensive rebounds. They've forced 20 Baruch turnovers, just 15 themselves, and we've got a low-scoring game that's been a struggle for both teams, particularly a tough start in the first quarter. Was just 14-11. NJCU in front, and it's been a career game for Deja Anderson with a game-high 19.
Yeah, she was outstanding. I mean, it's great to see her get it done on the glass as well. Hannah Johnson has really stepped up here in the second half, really turned her game up. I mean, we knew the offense was going to come if she played under control. It's what we've seen now, 7 straight double-figure games for her, getting obviously now her team-leading 10th of the season. But defensively, after Dawson knocked down that 2-pointer in her face, Johnson's gotten aggressive on the defensive side. You saw that block before, drawing 2 key offensive fouls to give the possession back. Her defense has been great in the second half. And now, really, for the Gothic Knights, milk the clock. You're up by 6. Take the clock down. Get the victory here, because you've held Baruch to their lowest scoring total of the season, 48 points.
And this is coming off of the heels of a 90-point game.
Season high.
NJCU able to break that pressure right at half court. The clock already down to 15. Edmond, the ISO against Dawson, with Baruch switching to a man-to-man for the first time tonight.
This is NJCU's bread and butter. It's open.
McRae, long in the 3. Edmond, another offensive rebound, and the stick back.
Whoa, Sarah to the glass, cleans it up, puts it down.
8-point game. Dawson back to the free throw line.
See who they give that foul to. As Edmond now would have 14 rebounds. So 1 away from the 15 she had against Kane. That'll be your season high.
And Dawson with a miss. 1:01 left. We'll see if Baruch will consider fouling. Make or miss here.
It's 9
following
all the
pressure.
second half for Dawson.
Ball nearly thrown away. McCrae's pass deflected. Timeout NJCU.
And Ralph, you make a really good point. You do want to foul NJCU because this is a team that shoots under 60% at the line. They're not very savvy at the free throw line. Put them on the free throw line. Stop the clock. Make NJCU go 2 for 2 consistently in these final 55 seconds and beat you, because if they go 1 for 2, 0 for 2, with your three-point shooting ability and the bonus, you're still not out of this one. You know, despite the result, it's really been a very tough scoring day for Baruch. Just now they finally needed Dawson in double figures, but before that, Ahmed was the only one in double figures at 11. Scoring been very tough. Team had 5 players in double figures last game, 2 with double-doubles, one of which of those double-doubles fouled out. And that was a key foul out in Zaporlo earlier.
Both teams in the bonus. Baruch brings back Val Mitchie for defensive purposes and to foul. Edmond and Mitchie tried to foul Taylor Gaston. They give it to McCrae, and now McCrae is fouled.
And this is the girl you want on the line. Knocked down 2 crucial free throws to help this team defeat Rutgers Newark on the road. This is just who you want to be shooting for you.
At 61%, so Leah McCrae.
The confidence is what she has. Dawson now checking back in. Also like that Maya Neal's in here defensively. 5 steals tonight for her. These are such crucial free throws. And that's a miss, tough miss there. Gotta go at least 1 for 2. That's huge.
Baruch needing looks to the basket in a hurry. 8-point game. Dawson pitching. Ahmed. Spayu searching for a shot. Gets to the basket, leaves it short. Rebound Johnson, and then the foul with 34.2 left. And the Gothic Knights on the verge of ending their 3-game losing streak and setting things up for their return to conference play on Wednesday night at William Patterson.
Well, if you're NJCU, that was just the shot you were hoping to see Baruch take. I thought we'd see Snyder there in the corner. She was wide open and knocked down a 3. That first free throw, huge. And defensively, you couldn't have gotten a better result for NJCU. And now you knock down 2 free throws. It's a 10-point game, and you can coast, Ralph.
$16 for Hannah Johnson, 11 coming in the second half. She's a big reason why the Gothic Knights are going to come away with a victory. Dawson's pull-up is off. McCrae rebounds, and Baruch not fouling. McCrae speeds ahead, though, not realizing time and score.
Trying to get a little bit of a bucket late. So that's going to be Spayu. So that'll be her 4th foul. Well, I'll tell you about this team, Ralph. Sorry to interrupt you. Man, this is just tough defensive basketball. And holding Baruch to 49 points tonight, making them earn every inch. It's one thing about what Pat Devaney's team does, defense. It really starts with defense. And tonight, outstanding.
The previous season low this year to 2 very good teams for Baruch. They scored just 50 at NYU, obviously a regional and occasionally national power, and then scoring 52 in a lopsided loss at Hunter College.
Of course, this would be their 2nd season low, 47 against Brooklyn.
Final seconds. NJCU trailed by 3 at the break, but the veterans stepping up, Anderson and Johnson, as the Gothic Knights are back in the win column. The 3-game winning streak, or 3-game losing streak, comes to an end. NJCU shuts down Baruch 60-49, holding Baruch to their 2nd lowest scoring output of the year. The Gothic Knights head back into conference play, this time on a win.
Yeah, and you know what? A good defensive performance all around. And for the Gothic Knights, got it done on the glass. What a great job rebounding by this squad as they out-rebound Baruch 61-43, a plus 18 margin. Before we go to the post-game interview with Ira Thor, what a job on the offensive glass. 32 of them, season high, Ralph. One of the major reasons why they're able to get the victory tonight. And it's a good good mention that if they play like that, listen, they can make a run in the end, Jack.
Deja Anderson, a career high 19 points, also a career high 14 rebounds, 8 of them on the offensive glass, 16 from Hannah Johnson. Sarah Edmond with a 9-point and 14 rebound game for NJCU. Baruch led in scoring by Samira Ahmed's 11, and Nia Dawson collecting 10 along with 8 rebounds. But NJCU picking up the win by 11, holding off Baruch. They were able to separate themselves midway through the fourth quarter. Mainly Hannah Johnson, particularly coming alive late, being the difference maker, and the older players of NJCU, especially here nearing the finish line, really showing what they're about and how talented they can be to get this program into the NJAC tournament.
Yeah, and again, the key thing, if they can get that number one score, if Johnson and Anderson could become what Maisha and Marija Bacon, the top scorers last year, can be to this team, then they have that chance. You know, Ralph, as Ira will be doing our post-game interview, 14 steals, 5 of those for Maya Neal. That's something that didn't really get seen in the stat. Great game for Maya Neal, season high, 5 steals.
Let's go to Ira, who's got Pat Devaney Sr. in the postgame.
Thanks, Ralph. Joined by head coach Pat Devaney, along with Hannah Anderson. Hannah Johnson. I combined 2 players into one. Hannah Johnson and Deja Anderson. You guys are nice and hydrated now after a hard-fought win here?
But we pushed it through. We have a lot of things we got to clean up going towards Willie P on Wednesday. But we're getting it together. We're a young team. I'm trying to hold everybody together as a captain. And we're going to push it through.
Well, you're not too young. Yeah, I was going to say, you're a senior. You're the old one here, the old one of the bunch. But it is a very young team overall. And because of that, this has to be a very satisfying win, as you guys picked up probably your biggest non-conference win of the season, and did so by outscoring them in the third and fourth quarters, 17-10. Controlled both third quarters after a very close first half.
Well, I'll tell you what, Baruch's coach over there, he's doing a hell of a job over there, where he got his girls right now, being, I think, one of the best in their conference. That was a hell of a win for us, getting them over here in Iowa Gym. With these two. These two, I think, need to really believe in themselves a little more. But it's coming along, slowly but surely. That's something that we need from these two.
7th win of the year. Deja nearly had a double-double in the first half alone. What is it about you running the floor? You just are like a truck down the freeway, knowing that they're going right to the basket, and there's nothing stopping you when you're just in that zone.
She hungry. Talk.
Yes.
Hungry?
When I step on the floor, sometimes, most of the time, I'm in my head too much, way too much. But on the flip side, when I'm not in my head and I'm just confident, I'm just playing. I don't think at all. I just play.
That's a great path through that journey right there on the court, because when you're out there, you can take over these games. And as this year progresses, and right now we are in a great spot, control our own destiny for the NJAC tournament, the leadership of, obviously you're a junior and Hannah being a senior, I combined you into one player, but you're actually 2, is going to be so key. You're playing William Patterson now on Wednesday, a team that we lost to by 5 the first time around. Game could have gone either way. What have you been learning about yourself and your teammates as you guys have gone through what really has been a transformational year for this program, for the first time in more than 30 years actually being in the playoff conversation?
We always been a close team from the beginning, but we getting more acquainted with each other on and off the court. So, yeah, once that happens, well, it's happening. We gonna be unstoppable.
Well, Deja nearly had a double-double in the first half. Well, what'd she finish with today? A double-double. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 8 offensive, along with a trio of blocks. You, young lady, after not staying on the court much in the first half because you got into foul trouble for the 4th game in a row, came back, and really helped ignite us from three-point range. Take us through your game a little bit. For those who haven't seen you because it's your first year at the program, you truly are an inside-out type player. You can go to the basket and make some nice mid-range jumpers, go right to the rim, but you also can be lethal from three-point range.
I haven't played in a while, so my first really in-conference playing was my freshman year, and I was in 2015. So going back and having Coach Pat really show me and tell me that I'm unstoppable in this conference, just having my confidence back is just a blessing. And I'm really happy that I'm really getting back in my zone.
You did that with 2 triples today, 16 points, and a couple of very athletic blocks out of bounds. What's this 1 year been like? You're only with the program 1 year, but what has it been like for you so far, knowing that you're a captain, the younger players look up to you, and when you're on, you are truly an all-conference caliber player?
Thank you for that.
Well, it's true. I wouldn't lie to you.
I appreciate it. But knowing that I have the ability to come here and play my game all the time, practice and conference games, I didn't know I had it in me. You know, like me going into high school being a 1,000-point scorer junior year and me just accomplishing little things and going to a higher level, my coach is really showing me and pushing it out of me that I really can be unstoppable. And I'm proud to really be a part of this conference.
Finally, Pioneers coming up Wednesday. Not a must-win game because you guys control your own destiny because you've already beaten everybody behind you. But how satisfying would it be for you guys to win on a road against a team that's above us in the standings right now?
It would be huge, but I tell the girls this is a must-win because I feel we need to be at least 2 games ahead of the ones who are behind us to have that kind of cushion just in case if anything happens. The way the season has been happening, the injury bug been hitting us, and it's a must-win for us, I think. I mean, I tell the girls that. Being within 5 home with who we had on the team, I think Coco was playing at the time and Alex was playing, so we're missing those 2. But with who we have, we could keep rolling, you know, and I believe that it's a game that we can win, absolutely.
Lasting for you guys today. Beautiful moment before the game as both teams gathered in a number 8 to symbolize one of Kobe Bryant's 2 numbers. And then we had court's all wet now. We had a 24-second moment of silence to represent Kobe's other number that he wore during his Lakers career. In light of everything that happened yesterday in California with the tragedy, just give us a couple thoughts on what a player of Kobe's magnitude meant to you guys, and I'll ask for all 3 of you guys, meant to you as a basketball fan. Maybe not just as a player, but as a basketball fan.
Well, I personally got an opportunity to meet Kobe because I played on the AAU team that he came from, the Tim Thomas players, when it was Tim Thomas, Vince Carter, and himself. So hearing the news last night and being a father, knowing that, you know, he lost his daughter and stuff, it hit home for myself. You know, I actually cried like if Kobe was a family member of mine. But he's a legend. And, you know, legends live forever. But I want his legacy to get passed down to the kids to understand why he was at the top like that. And it was because he had the talent, but he also had the supreme work ethic. And he was obsessive about his craft. That's why he was great at what he does. And it's a huge loss to the basketball community. I think it's a huge loss to us as human beings because he meant more to just, I believe he meant more to people in general than just as an athlete because his work ethic.
What about for you? You both came of age just as Kobe's career was winding up, but you did get to see his best at the end.
In my household, it was Lakers fans. It was Kobe and Shaquille. Those are my 2 favorite players. And having that loss yesterday was very devastating. Knowing that he retired and it was more to him going after basketball. He has his plan and his family. It was just very important to him. It's very sad what happened to him, and we took a big loss in the basketball world.
Deja, last word yours.
One thing I really admired about Kobe was his beast mentality. He was such a beast, and he was humble. Never heard about Kobe little rah-rah stuff like everybody. Never heard about that. So I just admire his humbleness and his beast.
Some thoughts on Kobe Bryant from 3 basketball players, basketball fans on a life lost too soon, along with his young daughter and 7 others. Congratulations to the Gothic Knights. A big non-conference win today against Baruch. They win number 7 on the year. We'll send it back to Ralph and John Kelly Jr. to send us home.
Thank you, Ira, and thanks for the thoughts of Pantavani Sr., Hannah Johnson, and Major Anderson to wrap things up. Giants with the victory here, 60-49 for NJCU. Talking about the belief that they hope to build up. There's just 7 games left after this one. William Patterson coming up next on Wednesday. They're 6-5 in the conference, 8-10 overall. NJCU lost back on December the 4th by 5-71-66. Clearly they're a much improved team, as William Patterson is. Real opportunity for the Gothic Knights.
Yeah, and, you know, Ralph, at the same time, you know, they outscored them in that third, 17-6. Really great after trailing by double digits. 5 players in double digits in that for NJCU. They just ran out of steam. It's going to be interesting to see them play them this time around with this squad playing the way they are off a win.
60-49 off of that victory. Gothic Knights improved to 7-11 overall. Bearcats fall to 12-5. They'll have a chance, though, to reach the CUNY semifinals this year and maybe surprise and reach the final, as that program clearly has bounced back. For our entire crew, our producer and director, Paulie Fantasili, for my partner, John Kelly Jr., it's been a pleasure. My name is Ralph Bednarczyk, saying so long and good night from Jersey City. You've been listening and watching